follow our special live broadcast here from Myllypuro campus from Metropolia and New Dimensions of Construction event. Today I'm hosting. My name is Vappu from Kira Hub. We are a non-profit association and innovation ecosystem for the built environment sector in Finland. And with me is lovely Mia Toivanen, program leader from Kira Growth Program. So welcome all. And today the discussion is all about how to give to the international students some opportunities to work in Finland in the future. So how we can attract the international talent to Finland. But how are you, Mia, today?
Just super excited. I'm so glad and thankful for Metropolia for having us and our discussion here today, because the subject is so critical to the growth of our national and European level and whatever construction sector. We totally need new talents, international talents, and multicultural teams as well. So you're mostly welcome.
And for the first 15 minutes, we're going to host a panel discussion with Metropolia students. So maybe you could start and introduce yourself briefly.
Okay, thank you for this opportunity. My name's Ogudana Adekunle. I'm a Nigerian. My background, I studied architecture for my first degree back in Nigeria. I also have a master's degree in architecture. And then I have an international certification in project management from the renowned Project Management Institute. It's a popular institute in the world in Pennsylvania, United States. I'm presently studying construction and real estate management at master's level. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Ritika. I'm an Indian national and I graduated in architecture in 2018. I have had the privilege of gaining some technical experience in the field, and 2 years ago I moved to Germany after my marriage, and with a technical background in architecture and a deep eagerness to know more about sustainability and construction, I am here progressing a master's degree in construction and real estate management in Finland. Thank you.
Hello everyone, thank you so much for this platform. My name is Dotun Agbola. I am a master's student studying construction and real estate management at Metropolia here, with a background in estate management back in Nigeria. I am from Nigeria. I have been in the real estate sector for about 7 years, doing facilities management, project management, valuation of properties, and a little bit of construction management. I am so happy to be here. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tokwe Dairo. I've got a background in real estate management, asset management, portfolio management. I've got about 10 years experience in the real estate market back in sub-Saharan Africa, and I am currently studying for a master's in construction and real estate.
Thanks so much. You have quite different angles and different already many kinds of experience from the sector, and still you have chosen this program that is combines not only two different countries or not two different cities, but also two different countries. You're studying here in Helsinki and also in Berlin. So what brings you, why did you choose the program, the study program, and what brings you to Helsinki, Finland now?
Okay, I guess I'm going to start. That's $1 million question. I mean,
so I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great opportunity. I've lived all my life in Nigeria. I have, let me mention, I have also about 9 years experience working in the construction field as an architect, doing project management and design work, providing design solutions to different kind of briefs. In fact, if not for the fact that is insisted, is expected of you to do master's degree back in Nigeria, I will have proceeded to do something like this if opportunity has called, to do just management, because I'm intrigued more by seeing my design come to life. So when this opportunity presented itself to travel out of the country to have international experience in 2 countries for construction and real estate management is just too good an opportunity to turn down. So that's why I'm here. Thank you.
Well, quite similar for me. When I moved to Germany, it was not late that I realized having an advanced degree in the field was a must to get good opportunities and broaden my perspective. Hence, I enrolled into HTW Berlin. And as a part of the program, I am here. And what better place to learn about sustainability than Finland? People here are so related to nature, and they prioritize community. And so it would have been a privilege to be studying here. And also because the program has a dual degree benefit, so I can explore both the markets in Germany and Finland as well, and then decide whether I should go back to Germany or call my husband here.
All right.
That's a challenge.
All right. So I haven't been in the profession for about 7 years, like I stated. I got to a point where I wanted more. I was more into facilities management, valuation of properties, and asset management generally. And beyond those, because you do all of those things when the buildings are ready, I wanted to know the process involved to get the building ready itself. So I decided to go for construction management so as to have a sound knowledge of how the buildings are built and prepare myself for the future. So, and when the opportunity presented itself, double degree program, I haven't also seen that international European countries like Julius Berger practice in Nigeria, and it's a German company. I thought it's wise to come for this program. Thank you.
Choosing Finland wasn't a difficult choice. Research has shown that they're one of the happiest people in the world. The degree program is a dual degree. I have a background in real estate, a little bit of knowledge with construction management. So the opportunity to deep dive into construction was something that was very appealing, and it looked too good to turn down. And I have been immersed in that with the first semester, learning about sustainability, learning about product modeling, BIM. So it's been very, very interesting to come here, and making the decision to come to Finland wasn't that difficult to do.
Okay, and when you look beyond your studies, so in the future, what kind of plans do you have? So are you maybe planning to stay in Finland? What are your goals and visions for the future?
We are open to opportunities. I mean, staying in Finland would be a privilege, I'm sure. I have observed that all my life I have learned about sustainability in papers. I have never witnessed how people can incorporate that into their practical lives. For example, taking simple walks, going to the saunas, and everything gives simplicity and happiness to the mind. I would love to continue enjoying my leisure life with working in a good firm here. But I am also open to opportunities in Germany because statistically speaking, there are more opportunities there for now for the field. But however, I wish that Finland can provide us more networking opportunities as a student, and we can broaden our perspective to applying to jobs. It wouldn't be difficult choosing between Finland and Germany, I'm sure.
How about the others?
All right. With my experience so far since I came, it's been nice. From the classes, the trainings, and the opportunity I've had to go on construction sites to see how buildings are built here and everything. I would love to stay in Finland. I would love to contribute my own expertise and my knowledge to grow it, because while it has been said that the opportunities are there, back home too, there were ways we did our things, and infusing such ways into this will not be a bad idea. It will be from another angle, and I feel growth is in such processes. So I would love to stay back in Finland and contribute my quota to the development of the construction industry here.
Like I mentioned previously, it's been an easy decision coming to Finland. Staying back in Finland is a function of the opportunity that it presents to the international student. We know that culture is strategy for breakfast. So if there's a culture of integrating international students into the workforce. That'll be quite encouraging. And also, like some of my colleagues and I have discussed, the data suggests something different. But so let me speak for myself. If I get the opportunity to stay back in Finland, that something that enables my professional competencies, it's quite appealing, because if you look at the indices, you look at the data, life expectancy, how people manage their work-life balance, it's much more easier to do in Finland. You get to offices and 4 p.m. they're closed. On weekends, you see people walking into the woods. So it's quite heartwarming. And the one that's most interesting is the fact that you see kids 7 and 8 all by themselves on the bus. So I don't have to worry in my head about a lot of things. So if the opportunities do present themselves, it's something that I would seriously consider with my family. Thank you very much.
Okay, let me just add a bit of my 2 cents to what every of my colleagues have just spoken about. In fairness, I would like to just kind of experience Germany. Like you are aware, is a 2-nation course. I would like to experience Germany before I do my holistic evaluation of what the situation is. But in fairness to myself, I'm likely to stay, because I mean, Finland is quite functional. The infrastructure, everything is quite functional, in contrast to what I've been hearing about Germany. But like he said again, we never can tell what opportunity presents itself. But presently, tentatively, it's likely I stay. That's it. It's likely I'm going to stay. But I don't want to. I just don't want to be conclusive about it. But it's likely. Let's say like 80%. Thank you.
Thank you. And I think the biggest question for us is that we would actually like to keep you all here after your studies in Finland to work inside of the industry as part of our ecosystem and the top professionals. But it's as we all know, it's also hard for you as international ecosystem to maybe stay. So what do you think, what should we provide as a society and also as workplaces for you, so you would be willing to stay in Finland? And you can now just say like really actual concrete things.
Go ahead.
I have been very privileged to have had an environment that speaks English, which is very uncommon for European countries as far as I've traveled. And the fact that we are well integrated in the society because we have a common language is a privilege, of course. But whenever we apply for jobs, it is a mandatory to have fluency in Finnish that I have observed sometimes. So it wouldn't be very hard for companies to lower down their barriers for the language, I guess, since we all are sharing knowledge on the basis of English that we've learned all our lives. It is very difficult to integrate a new language within a period of 2 years. And the same goes for networking. I, as a student, believe that coming from abroad, it is very challenging for me to build a network within a 2 years span of time. I would love to have more job fairs and more, reception for networking and more mentorship programs that could help us get strong connections throughout the construction market and open access to all opportunities. And it is not very hard to notice that Finland has been ranked the happiest country in the world so many times. So why not make the students happy by lowering down the language barrier as well? I mean, Finland is not only about coffee and Karjalan pirakka. I'm sure there is more. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to opportunities.
Yes, Ahmed. Okay. If I hear you right, you are trying to ask us what can be the incentives that will make us stay as international students. It boils down basically, like she said, to integration. You understand? And like I always say, if you look at the United States, for example, I'm talking strictly based on being an architect, that you can practice in the States, let's say New York, doesn't necessarily mean that you can practice in maybe another state, Maryland or something. Why? Because there are different practice styles. Now, you must understand that if you are going to integrate us as international students, it must be a deliberate thing. Because, for example, as an architect, I've looked at the environment. There is a unique way things are built in Finland that is quite a large contrast to what I'm used to. For example, I went to the third floor sometimes back, and I was looking at the way the designs are done, a lot of details. So as international students, irrespective of how you look at it, we also desire growth. So I will beg of you, if you want us to stay, the major way to incentivize us to stay is to begin to integrate us. Probably you mandate it for probably companies, take these international students so that they can begin to learn the building codes, learn how designs are done. Why are they done the way they are done? I'm speaking strictly. I know definitely my colleagues will have their own perspective. I'm speaking as an architect now. How designs are done, why they are done that way, the design, the building approval process, and every other thing, the softwares and everything, so that we can begin to learn. That's the only way we can integrate. You understand? Thank you.
Thank you so much. While I don't want to repeat what they have said for time's sake, I would love to add to what Ritika said about Finnish language. Personally, I feel it would be a beautiful idea to make international students take the preliminary Finnish course so as to be able to at least speak Finnish, because most job adverts I've seen, Finnish, English, Finnish, English. Even if it is just to pick the pieni and not the iso part of Finnish. At least if I am asked, can you speak Finnish? I will say yes. It is until you ask me, are you fluent, that I will say no. So if I get to do such courses in class, that's a way to help me to pick it and go for it. Then the second thing I would love to say is that I would beg of HRs, companies, that maybe a quota system be made in their enrollment, employment for internships and jobs. If you have like a slot for international students, automatically at least one international student will get into the system, and it will make life better. Lastly, I love the organizers and how they have organized this program, the panel session and everything. I feel another way to help international students stay is to hear success stories. If I get to sit for a panel session like this and hear people that came here 2, 3, 4 years ago talk about their experiences and how they have been able to integrate into the society, there is a way it helps me to know it's possible here. So I would appreciate if we have such panel discussions so that they come and share their success stories. It would encourage someone like me to want to stay. Thank you.
Getting international students into the workforce, it's a deliberate attempt. A deliberate attempt at finding useful ways to getting them into the system. It's not going to be served to you on a platter, like you would just get it. But if the HR teams find some meaningful way to get a smooth blend between school and work, maybe during semester breaks, the opportunities for maybe unpaid internships. That way we can familiarize ourselves with the system without the burden on the company. Like just something of that nature, that it's some sort of deliberate attempt to let people get a good sense of what you do, how you do what you do. I had a conversation with someone and said that if you don't come to Helsinki, you don't know, the first thing is you don't know how beautiful the place is. You don't know how warm the people can be. You don't get a sense of the construction and architectural work that they do, how they immerse the construction, the people, the environment. It's so beautiful to watch, because you've gone to other cities and you see how seamlessly you could drive a car to your doorstep without, and pedestrians are walking right beside you. There's nothing. I don't think I've seen any other city, maybe Amsterdam, that does that type of work. And I think another thing that the workforce needs to do as well is that I don't think Finnish people do a lot of PR. And one of the ways we can do PR is through your international students, because a lot of people don't know what you do. If you don't come here, you don't know. And I've had that conversation with a lot of people. So how are you able to do that? I think Ritika is from India. Unfortunately, 3 of us are from Nigeria. So unfortunately, yeah, because 3 would have loved for another dimension to be here. So that we can be your mouthpiece. That's the best form of marketing. That's the best form of sales. But if you don't get people to talk to you about how things are done here, nobody knows anything that's happening in Finland. Not until you get here and see that, oh, it's really a beautiful place. It's some place where amazing things are happening. So I think HR needs to definitely find a seamless way to make sure that people get internships. It doesn't have to be paid. It could be unpaid. I'm sure we're happy to do it because it enhances our skill sets and it prepares us for the job market if we have to stay eventually. And that way as well too. I think it's much easier when I have a colleague that's Finnish and doesn't necessarily speak with English with me all the time. I could pick up the language a lot better. So those type of initiatives would help international students stay back. And it could be your mouthpiece. It's unpaid for. We can be the mouthpiece.
Thank you all so much about this discussion. It was really insightful and so much good luck for your efforts in Finland and in Berlin. And let's hope that you will choose eventually Finland and that's something that we can all do something about. So thank you. Let's give a big applause to our student panelists. And then we're gonna next reflect what you said with our professional panel. So thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
And next, I will ask our 4 panelists, professionals, to come on stage. So Kirsi Mettälä from RIA ry, Tanja Kanerva from Skanska, Jorma Säteri from Metropolia, and Abhishek Kumar from Ekotekt. Welcome. So nice to have you on board. And first, could you maybe briefly introduce yourselves?
Absolutely. Okay, now it's working. So happy to see you all. So my name is Kirsi Mettälä and I am working as a managing director for the construction civil engineers and architects here in Finland. And previously, I worked over 20 years. It's a very long time in a construction company called Skanska in Finland and also globally as the HR director.
Thank you for the invitation. I'm Tanja Kanerva, a talent acquisition partner from Skanska, as Kirsi was previously working at Skanska as well. I'm fairly new. I started in May this year, but it's my 15th year in the construction business in the recruitment field. And just shortly about Skanska, we are one of the world's largest development and construction companies with 27,000 plus people. In Finland, we have something like 1,800 people at the moment. Yes.
Hello, I'm Jorma Säteri, Director of School of Real Estate and Construction here at Metropolia. Responsible for the degree programs, for example, the international ones, the Conrem, that's students we just had, and the Finnish-speaking ones. So altogether around 2,500 students in 11 different degree programs here.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Abhishek Kumar. I'm a founder and CEO of Ekotekt. So at Ekotekt, we are using 3D printing technologies and robot for making carbon negative buildings. I'm an architect by profession, and yeah.
Okay, so welcome all, and quite a versatile group of professionals we now have. But you were also listening to our previous panel, and I would like to first ask that, how do you feel about the discussion? Is it something that you have heard quite many times, or is there some new ideas for you all? Who wants to start?
Maybe the first spontaneous feeling was just, I would like to embrace this feeling and I would like to hire them all if I could.
Maybe
Yeah.
you can.
Maybe someday, yes.
I can continue. I was part of this future work dialogue that was arranged this spring and also this autumn, and it was for the construction industry. And we had these different dialogues. It was probably 3 or 4 times. And it was a kind of a cooperation between different universities and companies, and also we associations were together, and also some foreign students. And I was happy to hear that the advice that you gave us what actually were in line with the conclusions that we had from that dialogue. So there were several kind of insights that we also kind of defined. And first was this, that we need really coherent and continuous cooperation between different, universities and companies, employers, and also students. Because with this cooperation, we can really, identify, the kind of the work possibilities, but also that we can identify the kind of multicultural and diverse groups where, for example, foreign students can be part of. And the second one was actually that there are many kind of very easy practical ways how to kind of integrate, for example, foreign students with the companies. Maybe one suggestion was that really, establish this kind of a mentorship or body programs, and also to kind of have for example, Finnish-speaking, colleague working with you together, and then you can easily, learn some Finnish, and also, the other party can learn some other language, or maybe, strengthen his or her English. And the third one was, and I think that's the most important for us, native Finns, is that we are quite easily kind of requiring that, the foreign students and foreign people need to integrate to our kind of society and working environment. But are we ready? Are the Finnish companies and we all ready to, welcome these foreign students and foreign employees to work with us? I think that we have still too many kind of unconscious bias, and also the attitude that it's not so warmly welcoming, and maybe it's a little bit question about fear. So it's still a new thing for us. But I think that we can work together and really, as you also, identify to market more that what are the benefits when we have this kind of multicultural and diverse, working environment.
Thank you for your thoughts. How about others?
Yeah, I would say I was very impressed again about the expertise and experience that our students presented in the previous panel, and also by the way in the Raksa AI Challenge earlier on, where our students created solutions for future AI for the construction industry. And I think everyone should listen to them and this panel, because it's not at all obvious that they are willing to stay in Finland unless we take good care of the working life opportunities for them. And we are in desperate need of these international experts as a society in Finland. As university, of course, we need to smoothen their way to the working life, and we need to take action. We will take action in improving, for example, the Finnish language skills already during their studies. And then events like these that we have today are also important meeting point for students, future experts, working life in various areas. So this is also a good example of how we can level the path to the working life.
Yeah, so Very interesting, especially about the diversity topic. And I have worked in 5 different countries here in Europe. And originally I'm from India, so I also worked. And as an architect, so we have to work with the clients when we design something, and also we have to work with the on-site with the workers to make sure that the drawings are, the construction is done according to the drawings. And my experience is that the more you go onto the construction site, globally, this is the most diverse people you will find. Foreigners are working there. So, let's say sometimes it's 80. So if a building is constructed, maybe it is a big chance that in Finland you will have 5 different nationality, people working from neighboring countries and so on. And it's globally, I was in UK, it's the same. India also, it's more like people come from different region, and it's basically for economic purposes. Of course, when we go up in the hierarchy, it starts to become more and more local, And I understand your concern that because you are you are into the management level, or also in the design development level. Yes, that part of the sector is very, very local. And what I have learned all these years is that only way to win is that learn local language. You can really impress. I was in Denmark or Sweden, or if you speak local language, they will just they will open their arms. And this is where also we have to make a good impression. But also one challenge which we find is that the background, those are different cultures, they have different. For example, in Nordic, it's very flat hierarchy. There's no this like, okay, CEO, or so I mean, you have this yes, there is a differentiation, but then let's say the gender equality, or now that, so there are value systems each and every country is having, and that we need to adapt it very quickly, learn it, and then because I have seen that many offices, they hire as a trainee, or as an intern, but they are not able to make convert it into the job. And one of the main reason is that, I mean, I can say openly, is that it's because the intern wants to change the culture of the company by and that's not going to happen. It's that because I accept that the Finnish society, or the way the construction is done here, is super efficient. There are top quality companies, the innovation level is so high, it's in the top of the world. So let's jump into this sport and accelerate the growth, rather than changing it or blocking it. So this is what I say, that the responsibility comes also from the students. The companies, they need it. They need people. I tell you, I was in 5-6 different countries in last 2 or 3 months. Everyone was saying, yes, we have, but like we have to work more. But of course, this economic situation, there are challenges because of the uncertainty. So we are not hiring so much because we don't know what's going to happen after 6 months, but we need people to work with. So it's a good, just apply and just try. I'm sure you all will get somewhere. Yeah.
Oh, so exciting. Thank
Thank
you
you.
for so many concrete things that you said. I just saw that some of our students are writing notes. So this is really good. So how about Tanya?
Yeah, something that I would like to highlight from what Kirsi just said was the word fear. And I think it's about fear of exposing being ashamed. Because, for example, the language barrier, it goes both ways. And we don't want to show our feeling to be ashamed that I cannot speak native English, or we've been taught to use only the languages that we speak perfectly. So that's one barrier to break down.
Correct. Kirsi, you mentioned the Work 2030 future dialogue, and as a result, there were many concrete insights and actions for the companies as well. But I think one important result was also the project itself. Unfortunate because it combined so many associations, but also companies to share their experiences and success stories, as mentioned here before, should be shared. But unfortunately, it was a project with a timeline. But how do you react? What is your reflection to that? Should there be, or is there, some ongoing cooperation with the companies and associations of the sector of industry?
Yeah, I mean that this dialogue and the whole process was really, really good, and I think that the best also the outcome was that now we know each other. So we built as a network, a new network. So there are universities and companies and associations and some students together, and we already decided that we will somehow continue the process and really follow the conclusions that we found out. But I think that it's very important that we all have found these conclusions and we know what to do and what we should do. So why don't we wrap up the sleeves and let's do something? And it doesn't have to be something that it's universe and very wide. So we can start with the small kind of steps and then, give an example for other companies, and this is how you can do that, and this is what you can try. And I think that, for example, Tanya, who is representing Skanska, you have done a lot of this kind of very practical things that you have your own training program and a training program for students, and you have set targets for kind of in order to kind of really have a diverse working environment. So those are the kind of the practical actions you can actually do and launch, and also tell about them to other people and companies.
That was a good one, that the cooperation of companies is still needed, and you just started it, and that's a good news for the sector. And please share us more, Tanya. I know, as Kirsi mentioned, you do lots of work to incorporate these insights and learnings to your company culture for more multicultural teams and work and better results.
So a few examples.
Please.
In this point, I would say we still require basic Finnish skills. I think it's all about language barrier and the language issue at the moment. But I think something remarkable happened in this Skanska, Finland, this week. On Tuesday night, we had a global Skanska, like internal online event. And we, for the first time, we had a real, I would say, like a AI-powered translation simultaneously during the event. And we all just realized, we were just so amazed how well it worked. It wasn't 100% correct, but it was enough. And that's provided us our 27,000 people from different linguistic backgrounds to understand and to engage the event without any interpretations, and at the same time, real time, all around the world. So that was the moment that we realized that we do have the modern technology supporting us in this challenge, and now we're just breaking down the barriers. We don't have excuses anymore.
That's a great example.
Yeah, and maybe some like another example is that we have our own internal, I would say, exchange program. It's not exchange students, but the people that come around the world every year to swapping places in Skanska group. So we had Charlotte from UK for 6 months in Helsinki on site, and she was discovering all the good starting points that we already have for preparing ourselves to hiring international talents. But as well, she figured out how to overcome those challenges, what kind of feelings she had while she was working in the construction site in Finland, in Helsinki, as the only one who didn't speak Finnish. And she shared all the feelings and all the ideas how to overcome those challenges. And that's so valuable for us.
Thank you. I love so much that you all have some concrete examples to present to us, because usually it's just like high level discussions that what should we do, but you actually do things. But the next question goes to actually Abhishek. So you are a good example of international talent working in Finland, and you already started or founded your startup Ekotekt in Finland. So why did you decide to choose Finland? You said that you have been working like all over Europe, and you stayed in Finland.
So I came here in 2007, long time back, because I studied in Stockholm and took a ferry to see the city. And so I had some Finnish friends, and I knew that Finland is quite conservative, so they don't want to talk about themselves a lot. They're not loud, but they know a lot. So and that's what I really liked it, that the culture is very humble, I would say. But then, of course, I moved to different places for the projects. Then I met Ville, my partner from Finland, and I was here in an event called Arctic 15 in 2019. And there I met, and of course, we had this idea we want to start. And I knew that the Finland is having a solid engineering background. It's Scandinavia is more design, but of course, Finland is also for doing design, but more, I would say, closer to Germany or with more engineering companies. So, and then I spoke with the Aalto Startup Center and also Urban Tech Helsinki. And I just felt that, okay, this is very welcoming. And they said that we are good. So we are good in this. And then I realized, okay, if they are saying good, that this means they are really, really good, So, and and Ville also said that, okay, I could, he could help. So yes, one of the friend, partner, and then, and so, I was familiar with Finland, and it's good that, I founded the company here. So that's the story behind it.
Yeah, and still another question for you. So now that you are working in Finland, and you said that we are maybe too modest or humble to attract more people. So how do you see attracting international talent? What in your opinion, what should we do to get more international talents to Finland?
You need to advertise, because I was in England and in London. They do okay, not to be negative, but compared to other countries, I think the Finland is. There are so many good things, and there it needs to, but it's in the culture, and that's fine completely. It's a tough question. That what I should be doing is, I think. I don't know how to answer that, because you have a programs in English, the websites, or which attracts the international talent. Also, you have many multinational companies, who are doing globally, and they need foreign talents. I would say that if there has to be some kind of a program in the university where they could work, for example, having more workshops. By 2-week, 3-week workshops by the large corporate where they work with the students, that would be, that helps to engage. And once so it's all about familiarity. People want to hire someone whom they know, or there is a trust, or there is a reference. But yes, so if we break that barrier, that how to do this networking, something like this is amazing. You from Skanska, I when I was a student, we were dying to meet somebody from this large corporate in Stockholm. That okay, because that's how. And here so more events like this is really good. To speak with the top level management of the company, and then from there it starts.
Good. And then Jorma, so you are working with the international students, Finnish students, and also with the whole ecosystem, trying to get the whole ecosystem to work together. And you know that there are also hardships about integrating the international students to the actual work life in Finland. So how do you feel about this whole discussion? You were also reflecting the student panel, but how do you feel about like the whole industry level?
Well, I have a positive feeling. I also participated to the Work 2030 dialogue and noticed that the also at the top level of the associations and also the industry leaders share the same views of diversity, equity, inclusion. And maybe the challenge is to bring these concepts and ways of working and including everyone further down to the grassroots level, I'm a little bit afraid that it's not only the language barrier that we are talking about here. We need to increase understanding of all these issues. It's not only about the foreign students. It's about getting more women to construction industry, getting more diverse people, and that's the only way to get the best out of the workforce too. But I'm positive. I'm seeing the change. I've seen the new strategy of the Confederation of Finnish Construction Industry, where they stress these things. We are changing at the university as well. We are bringing the students and industry together. We have good corporate partnerships with over 30 companies where we have this dialogue 2 times a year and look for the possibilities. And we are increasing our Finnish education in the international programs. And we have also started our own Metropolia trainee program to help our international students to find a work placement or training also within Metropolia, but maybe in the future also in cooperation with the industry to lower the threshold to coming to the working life.
Perfect. I'm just fascinated listening to you. So many concrete things as already mentioned. And also, I was just thinking that what we kind of our lacks of, it's in our nature that we are so humble, but also not using the networks, or there might be the same obstacles kind of what we have with the export of our knowledge. Our companies have the same problem. So we should combine these two things, and I'm so happy we already have the new kind of company and association and university cooperation. So that is an excellent start, because no one is going to do this by themselves. We need each other. This is, I think, Jorma.
And in the panel, we already heard about our international students being the spokespeople for Finnish expertise, products, and technology. So that's a very, very important aspect here too.
Yeah, correct.
Can I say one thing? So
Sure.
that brought also that to my mind that part of this future work discussion that we had, there was a very good idea that was presented that we have this kind of a big event in Finland called Slush, where these start companies, they present their operations and ideas. So why don't we kind of create a kind of student slush where these foreign students can pitch their kind of competence and strengths and what they know and what they can do to the Finnish companies, so that we can actually have a kind of real interaction between the students and the companies, because it's always so important that you meet face to face and not with the teams, or you send the kind of the applications. It's a human chemistry that you need to understand and really rely on. And so I think that's a very good idea.
Unfortunately, we are coming to a close. We are like over the time already, but I would, for the last question, still want to ask from you that, do you have any kind of like concrete, inspiring success stories from the industry that you would like to share? What has already happened? So is there someone that you would like to highlight? I think Abhishek is one of the highlights here. So actually you stayed in Finland, but are there other success stories that we should now share with each other and celebrate?
With few words only.
How about Jorma?
Well, I'm sure my neighbors are better tellers of the success stories, but I do remember several cases when we did the interviews for the experts that moved into Finland 2015, and we had this project for this. So I found it very rewarding to interview international experts and discussing with them and showing them or finding with them paths to the working life. And there are a couple of success stories from there where expert who recently moved into Finland found their place in the working life. And I'm sure that repeating these activities, we can improve the situation much from where we are now.
Thank you. And thank you all so much for joining. Thank you as well as our student panelists. And I think this is a really important topic to talk on a versatile group. And now today we had all the stakeholders that we needed here. And I thank you so much about the concrete discussion. Usually it's in the upper level, but now we actually have like concrete ideas what we should all do. And now it's just a question about our whole industry, I think, because we can all do something and all do better. And I think the good start is to maybe like take Jorma to your discussions and ask what kind of international talents are coming to end of their studies that are searching for new opportunities, and that's a good starting point. And thank you, Mia, for hosting with me. This was a really good topic for Kira Hub and Kira Growth Program.
Definitely.
Yeah, as well. And we actually promised to do something about this as well.
Yeah. Check.
But yeah, thank you all so much. And let's continue this discussion because it didn't end here. Yeah, thank you. See you soon.